You're still watching Ways Now. International Widows Day is an awareness day of the United Nations that is observed throughout the world to discuss the hardship that widows face when their husbands die. International Widows Day was established by the Loomba Foundation to raise awareness of the issue of widowhood. The first International Widows Day took place in 2005, and in 2010, the United Nations General Assembly formally adopted 23rd of June as International Widows Day, as well as formally recognizing it as a day of observance, calling upon member states, the United Nations system, and other international and regional organizations to give special attention to the situation of widows and their children. The estimated number of widowed persons worldwide in 2020 is approximately 350 million, with a large majority, approximately 80%, being widowed women. So while globally about 1 out of every 15 people in a marital age are widowed. The theme for this year's International Widow Day is Invincible Woman, Invincible Problem. Widowhood is one thing that
every woman should dread.
I think every woman should be prepared for. That's what I would say. Every man and woman should be prepared for widowhood, whatever it is, because it's inevitable. But again, we can't keep playing this card of, God forbid, it will not be my portion, because we've seen time and time again that things happen and all of a sudden you were not prepared, and
exactly,
it looks like, unplanned, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, let's just put up a trust fund, life insurance, whatever it is that we can do whilst we're alive. Let's have those things in place. It's not like anybody's wishing anybody's death, but it does happen. I mean, look at the number, it's staggering. 350 million people.
And also have proper partnership
That's
with your
just
partner.
in 2020.
Yeah. And the one that actually hurts me the most, or actually resonates with me the most, is when you have a woman who actually relies on the man for everything.
Thank you.
You know, and the man has to be the provider in every context, and the next day the man just drops dead.
Which is why I said
so
the
what will
partnership
the woman
has to
now
really
do?
be done properly.
She's not even aware of how the house is being run. She's not aware of how money's come into the house.
What is she not aware of?
She's not aware of. There are
Yesterday-
women like that.
Yes,
Believe
yesterday I
me,
was having a
there are
conversation
women
with
like
someone.
No, I'm
that.
not saying you have to work if you don't have to, but being aware, there are two different things.
No,
There are women
I
like
don't
that.
even know what's going on, like how to.
Okay.
There are
yesterday
women
I was
like
having a
that.
conversation with someone. I was saying
Trust me.
that era of, oh no, you are my wife, I don't want you to do anything. That era
It has
like
sailed.
we should bury it.
It
we
has
should bury it.
sailed.
It doesn't serve any purpose.
No purpose
I mean, I used
whatsoever.
to say that if I had known, I would have started off my 9 to 5 from day one. I wouldn't have been like, sit at home mom to take care. Well, I wanted to do that
But
with my
it's
children.
good.
But
Exactly.
I'm saying that in hindsight now, I think I would have preferred to have a proper, work career, because it's very important for every woman to be independent. You never can tell what will happen.
Even if you have a work career, in the process, you should be able to build something for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not about you being in an office space or not. The thing is about you being able to build something for yourself, even when you are not doing a 9 to 5 job. Basically,
Makes
that's
sense.
that's the most important.
Yeah.
thing
So
for
Elsie,
me.
what did you find for us in the news? Why are you quiet?
Because my opinion is different, but it's okay. So, Deputy Chief Whip, Sabi Abdullahi, has faulted the reports on the NASS roof leakage that was yesterday. You took the story, yeah?
Yes.
So, speaking earlier today, Wednesday, at the start of the plenary, he said the reports, especially the one by Channels TV, were inaccurate. So he listed them, 3 of them actually, and the first one is saying that there was a heavy downpour or leakage in the chambers. Now he's correcting us to say that there was leakage around the premises. Second one, he says it was reported that because of the leakage, the sitting was delayed, and he's saying that is wrong. That the correct one is that the leadership had housekeeping matters, and until the leadership enters the chambers, sitting would not hold. And then thirdly, and the most crucial part for him, and I guess for us as well, is the report of that the House leadership or the leadership approved 37 billion for the rehabilitation. So he's saying that, yes, 37 billion was approved, but the money was spread into different phases at 9 billion for each phase because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So in response to him, in response to his query, the Senate President Ahmad Lawan warned against fake and inaccurate reports, stating that the incident of Tuesday is proof that the building needs rehabilitation, that the house is the house of all Nigerians. So it needs to be rehabilitated. And this just reminded me of what Uti was saying about them contributing $1 million each and rehabilitating it. But even if they do, it's not going to be enough now, because 3 phases and you need 9 billion naira each. So they need you people to take care of our house. Yeah. But I mean, we have cleared the...
It didn't clear nothing. I don't understand. It didn't clear nothing.
And I don't think they've gotten the funds as well. They're also looking for ways to get it out.
Has been released. Yeah,
so
it was approved.
They need to get it out.
But where did because I saw in the Punch paper yesterday that 37 was cut down to 27 billion. So is it now telling us that it was 37
Apparently,
billion?
they probably did not cut it down and told us they cut it down. But
okay.
Foul, breeze blew.
Okay, it is well with our lawmakers. But actually, it wasn't really the building itself. I think there's a link, it's a corridor, it's a passageway between 2 of the
buildings.
How he puts it, a leakage around the premises.
Yes, it's a oh God, I saw them scooping the water. You know what? Let's take your story.
The federal government of Nigeria, they never cease to surprise us, you know. So my story has the headline, Insecurity, Ekiti moves to clamp down on criminal herders. Okay, so this was coined today, and according to the paper, it says Ekiti State is determined to ensure the security of lives and property of residents in Ekiti State. And the government has disclosed this at the commencement of as they commenced registration of herdsmen across the local government areas. I think it's applaudable. It's a good way to, clamp down on those who are not actually herdsmen, and it's also another way to, should I say curb also, to curb the looming effect of famine if it does come in. So I think it's applaudable. But how effective will it be, basically?
Yeah, so far they've registered 4,000, is it 4,000 farmers or 4,000 farmers and herdsmen? But I know I saw 4,000, and the registration is still ongoing. So I think it's commendable. We took a story, was it last 2 weeks? So I just mentioned it, of Governor Ganduje. He's doing the same thing as well for his state. So I think it's a starting point. You can't be chasing people you don't even know how many they are or if they exist.
You can't fight crime with faceless people.
Statistics is important.
We need, and that's why that census, that stats is very important.
When are they going to count us in Nigeria?
It also brings to mind the story about a farmer who actually said that he was chased out of his farm by herdsmen. They came at him with machetes, but he was able to, fight back. No, fight back, because they didn't come with ammunitions. But now they reinforced themselves and they came back for them with ammunition. So if they're able to do this, I think it will go a long way to identify those who are actually the criminals and those who are actually.
All right, so my story is Zamfara. It says home to highest number of poor Nigerians. That's the headline. So the Zamfara says, I think, who was saying this now? The communications manager of the National Social Safety Net coordinating officer, that's Joe Abuku, made this data available when he was saying that about 3.8 million people from about 825,000 households are vulnerable and very poor in Zamfara State. So I just looked through, I quickly did a search on Zamfara State, about Zamfara to see, what exactly do they have, right? Zamfara is known for agriculture and gold mining, and those are their 2 main occupations in the state. And guess what? With all this Boko Haram activities of the bandits and all of that, a lot of these farmers have been chased out of their farmlands. They are unable to farm. you know, and they produce a lot of grains, maize, millets, you know, all of those things. And again, if you look at Zamfara State was the first state to introduce the Sharia law. So I'm just thinking in my head, right? No education plus religion is equals to catastrophe, right? If people are poorly educated,
is going to play out a
if
lot.
they are poorly educated or no education at all, and you now add religion to it, it is a recipe for disaster. So, I mean, before you even start to talk about bringing these people out of, what's it called? Poverty. What is the educational structure like? I mean, there were some 300 girls that were abducted, again, in Zamfara State of recent. So it's a lot going on in that state. So you can't just pick out one problem and say they are vulnerable and there are poor people there. How do we solve the problem holistically? And if you check, how can we have about 3.8 million people from 825,000 households? So multiply the number of children.
You know, I was saying it yesterday.
Don't bring it back again.
I should close
Please,
my mouth.
close your. You know. So, but so even outside of that, what is the plan for family planning that the government would have? You must start to put those kind of laws that says one child per household. You know, so you can't just be counting numbers.
Sharia government, family
planning.
I mean,
it's not the same. It's not the same mob that had 48 children or 84 children, and he had about Northern, that he had about 48 children inside his car.
So we need to deal with it holistically. Yeah, we need to deal. So it's not just enough to bring this kind of figures.
So
how do we solve the problem?
48 children inside where?
Inside his car, yes, and he said he had 84 children.
Wow.
Okay, so we'll take a break. We're talking parenting and
sex education.
Sex education. Stay with us, we'll be right back.